Welcome to Hot Dog Beach Garden Tour. My name is Darnell. Let me show you around my garden. It is early November in Nova Scotia. We've had a couple of mornings with some frost that some plants certainly didn't like. This is my first time ever doing a garden from scratch. I have a little bit of experience with houseplants. This area is about 75 by 50 feet, and when I started it was just overgrown natural weeds and vegetation. So the soil here is has a heavy clay content. In terms of soil amendments, this year I brought in about 4 tons of compost from the local dump, and then I added about 4 bundles of peat moss just to try to help loosen up the soil a little bit. Now this guy might not look too impressive. It actually looks like it's dead, but this is hardy kiwi, and when it first got transplanted, every single leaf on it died very quickly, and I was sure that it was dead, but over the course of about 3 or 4 weeks, eventually we got some new growth. Moving over here, we have heritage raspberries. This guy took the transplant a little bit better, and we have lots of new growth coming out of it. Moving over here, we have actually a honey raspberry or golden raspberry. And this guy certainly didn't like getting transplanted, but we're just starting to see some blossoms now, and the bees are happy about it, so I'm happy about it. We have blackberries. This is a blackberry. This guy transplanted pretty well, and we certainly got a bunch of new growth on it. And now moving over to the blueberries, the high bush blueberries, a little bit of blueberries out of it this year. And then right next to it we have a low bush blueberry. This one is pretty interesting. It's beautiful, and the colors, the fall colors on it. I didn't get any berries off this guy this year, but we have nice acidic soil here that these things apparently love, so I'm not super worried about it. Over here, we have black currants. You see that this was kind of taken off. We're seeing some new growth on there. This guy was definitely slow to recover after the initial transplant into the ground. And last but certainly not least, but certainly the saddest looking one here, this is a gooseberry. Now, this plant is a little bit spiky, and it makes grape-sized berries. First transplanted this, there was some kind of caterpillar that was very interested in it, and it ate every single leaf off of this plant. And then later on, something came through and ate every single berry off the plant. So it's very popular. I hope next year that some get saved for me. Let me give you a quick rundown on some of the vegetables that I grew this year. Over here we had pumpkins and watermelons, and I was decently successful with them. I grew dwarf sweet pumpkins. My first time ever watermelon. So these plants have been hurt by the frost, but hopefully these guys are lived long enough to sweeten up. We got a couple of them here. I've had 3 or 4 of them already. I think some of them got pulled a little bit too early because they weren't the sweetest, but right behind the watermelons, this is actually broccoli that has gone I guess, bolted. It's gone to flower. I noticed that the bees absolutely loved these plants. They were just covered with bees. So I just left them. Corn. It was my first time growing corn. Pretty cool to grow something that's like 8 or 9 feet tall or 8 feet tall. It's pretty neat. Yeah. We did have a couple of pest issues with some of these. They ended up getting some kind of grub or bug or something inside, but let's see how we did. Did go through and hand pollinate these to make sure, and not bad. Not bad at all. This trellis was originally snow peas, which were really productive really early on, but they ended up getting a really bad case of powdery mildew that came from the pumpkin. Next to it, I have green beans. They're still going, still making beautiful beans. These guys were really, really productive. Delicious, getting sweeter because of the cold, and still nice and crisp. And right behind the beans, we had peppers. These guys did not like the frost at all. This is a sweet pepper. They're supposed to be purple. I'm not sure what happened, but I got a single pepper all year, but that's okay. And then right behind it, we had some more peppers. As you can see, we got a single tiny purple pepper. It's supposed. And we got some more pepper plants. These are jalapenos. This little jalapenos that are super tasty. And right here, we have the sweet banana pepper. This one certainly did not like the frost, but it is still going, making frost damage. Peppers. This is my kale row. This is also a extremely easy plant to grow. It was very productive, and it's going to continue to grow through the cold months, so I'm really looking forward to that. And right behind the kale was the tomato section. I planted way too many tomato plants this year. They were very productive, but what I learned is that tomato cages do not work that great once your tomatoes plants start to really get heavy. And I think next year I'm going to be trellising them. But beefsteaks were extremely productive, super easy to grow, just need constant water. Over here it was cherry or grape tomatoes, I'm not sure. I don't like tomatoes, but people love them, and that's why I grew them. These guys took a long time to start turning red or start ripening up, but once they did, there was always essentially a constant supply of tomatoes. Beautiful. Now this area here has already been harvested. This area was all of my onions. I had yellow onions, red onions, and Spanish onions, and then another small row of shallots, of multiplying shallots. And here is my onion harvest. Didn't get a huge amount of red onions because for some reason the birds really liked picking at the tops of my red onions, but they didn't touch any other onions. Some yellows, and then more of the flat shaped ones are the Spanish. These are super sweet, really delicious. And right next to the onions, this was where my cucumbers were grown. That trellis has come down now because the frost basically killed all of the cucumber plants. To be honest, I didn't have a huge amount of luck with cucumbers this year. They seem to be really hesitant with the growing. and they didn't produce a huge amount when they did grow. So not sure if it was a one-off, but I'll give it another try next year. One thing that has been a hit this year is ground cherries. This guy is clearly damaged, frost damaged. But if you've never had a ground cherry, they're pretty cool. It's essentially like a little tomato, but it's really, really sweet. And it's in this little papery wrapper, I guess. And when they fall off, when they're ripe, they fall, they hit the ground, and they're delicious. I don't like tomatoes. You can tell that they're in the tomato family, but ground cherry really does make sense. And then right next to the cucumber area, this was spinach, which was probably my biggest fail this year. I didn't get any spinach. It all bolted immediately, and pests ate it up. Yeah, thumbs down on the spinach. But what was successful was cabbage. This is the last one left. We harvested a lot of them so far. That was a really fun vegetable to grow from seed. People really seem to love it when you gift them a cabbage, which was a little bit surprising to me. I did have some pest issues with these little caterpillar, white caterpillar grub type things that would just kind of burrow in down near the base and just kind of go to work. But overall, it was worth it. This area here was all potatoes. Potatoes were extremely fun to grow, very productive. Potatoes, always fun digging for potatoes. Something about it just feels right. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what the soil is like here. High clay content. And yeah, it's not terrible. It's definitely gotten better. It's definitely a little deceiving right now because of the drought. It's very dry. But just a bit of an idea of what I'm working with. This is a white grape, and this is a purple grape. And this guy also went in this season, though a little bit earlier. It's a little bit happier, although it does need to get up on that trellis. But I'm hoping by the beginning of next season, that won't be an issue. And then I grew lavender from seed, which was kind of fun, although it took about 3 months of me thinking that nothing was going to happen before it eventually made some lavender, but it's beautiful. And this is the final section of the garden. The idea behind this section was this is meant to be kind of the perennial section where things that would come back year after year would get planted here. I didn't have enough things to fill it, so some things are certainly annual for now. But I'll give you a quick rundown. So this row here is asparagus. I bought these in crowns that were already a year old. They all did come up, but I didn't get any edible shoots this year. And then right behind that, we have a rhubarb that is not looking super happy, but something has been eating at it. But it started out with maybe 3 leaves on it, and it's been growing a lot really quickly. This one right here is actually a Virginia tobacco plant. Typically, if you were growing this for smoking, you would chop off the heads of the flowers so that it put all of its energy into making big, beautiful leaves. But I left this one go to flower, and this is what it would look like if the flowers were chopped off. That was a tour of my garden. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And this is just a slideshow showing some photos of the garden throughout the season and some of the vegetables I was able to harvest. Thanks for watching.